Genealogies do three things. The first thing they do is you can buy and sell land based on genealogy. So there's 12 tribes. They come into the promised land. The 12 tribes are given land and told they can never lose their land. So those 12 tribes want to show by blood in their genealogy that they own this particular land. Now, you could sell your land for a moment, like we would call it a lease. But you could, for a moment, you could say, I need money, I'm in trouble, I'm gonna sell this land. They can then bring their do their crops or their animals, whichever one they're doing, on this particular land, but they never actually lost their land. You see this in the book of Ruth. Ruth uses this as one of the examples. You see it in other books. You see it, the year of Jubilee, kinsman redeemer. All these things are moments in the Bible where someone comes in and takes their land back because you never lost your land. Why is that important? Your genealogy, these records, had to be perfect because there was a lot of money based on how the genealogies came out. So if somebody came in here and doctored the genealogy and tried to add cousin Steve into the genealogy or somebody, everybody would know. Everyone would be watching that like a hawk. The second thing is it showed the priest line. These are the Levites, the priesthood. Every single Levite. So it was very, very important that the spiritual leaders came from Aaron. That was the law. They had to come from Aaron. So you had to show the bloodline that you belonged to Aaron, because they would only want the spiritual leaders that led their nation to come from that one line. And so the genealogy had to be perfect, showing the connection to Aaron. Even if you married someone as the male, if you married a wife, the wife had to show 5 generations of bloodline that actually connected to Aaron so that the blood would not be tainted. It was amazing what was happening. Third thing is they knew a Messiah was coming. So once again, they were watching genealogy before they allowed, my neighbor Kevin to say, I'm the next Messiah. They knew a Messiah was coming because the Old Testament says it. The Old Testament speaks of out of King David's line. God himself says a king is coming that's going to be the King of all kings and change everything going forward. And this King of Kings will be the Messiah. And so everyone's watching for the Messiah. But if somebody just came along and said, I am the Messiah that was spoken of, their next question would have to be, prove it. Show me in the genealogy that your family connection goes all the way back to King David. By the way, 2 weeks ago, I posted a video. I post on Sunday afternoons, I always post the sermon on the YouTube page. Someone writes almost immediately a comment saying, I am Yahweh from the line of David, which I thought was so interesting because I'm like, not only do they know this interesting name for God, like the one that's not supposed to be spoken even though they speak it, you also know he's from the line of David. Now, he already came like 2,000 years ago, so the person talking to me is a crazy person. I get that all the time, by the way. I don't know why, I attract crazy, but he did have it correct. I said, are you, just for clarification, you're telling me you're God, right? And he's all, yes. And I go, okay, all right. That's where I ended it. I didn't want to talk about it anymore. It doesn't go anywhere good from there, so I just stopped. All right, so genealogy matters, which is why Luke puts it here at the beginning, saying, before I start talking to you about everything that Jesus says, here's why you should listen. He's got all the right credentials.